This is Knockout City. We're on Xbox Series X taking a look at this multiplayer focused competitive dodgeball game. So what are we getting here? We're getting a native 4K resolution at 60 FPS with no HDR. It is a riveting experience where you are competing against one another in a series of options in order to eliminate your opponents. That's really what it is. It's multiplayer focused. It does have crossplay support, which is kind of nice. Keeps you kind of, matchmaking quickly. It's also got neat kind of skills and tactical things you can do while you're moving around in order to have a nice little level of finesse to it. And generally, yeah, it's quite fun to play. It's definitely something a little bit wild and nuts, and I think that's sort of the fun of it. It's got strangely a lot of depth too in regards to the different mechanics that you have when you're moving around hitting people with the ball. And there are a different selection of balls too. So not only do you have like these regular kind of balls that you can pelt people with, there's things like the moon ball where it kind of defies a little bit of gravity. Or you've got the cage ball where it throws or turns your opponent into a ball like that you could literally pick up and throw. And you can also choose to pick up and throw balls too that are, well, your teammate, you can like curl up in a ball and your teammate can pick you up and throw you and stuff. And it's really quite funny. You get a range of different things to like kind of say, and you can customize your character in many, many different ways, lots of different things to unlock. And yeah, it's honestly quite a fun experience. It's definitely something a little bit crazy, and it's super fast-paced. You do round-based combat. First up, there's like the KO mode. Then there's the diamond mode where you're kind of collecting diamond things that come out of folks when they die. Kind of a little bit like Kill Confirmed if you've played Call of Duty, as odd as that sounds, considering it's like not really a super violent dodgeball sort of experience. Like, this is something I think the younger audience could probably enjoy playing, because like I said, it's not really oh, come on. It's not really violent or anything like that. You're just, playing dodgeball, basically. Extreme dodgeball. But it looks really vibrant, it looks colorful, it's super smooth. But the world itself isn't necessarily too incredibly detailed. I do think the areas that you fight in, and there's a good selection of actual maps that you get to play. The diner one is like my favorite. Or is it like a diner? I guess a little bit like a malt shop of the future or something like that. It's really cool, and they've got all these smaller little things on the maps that are nice. But if you kind of like look off into the distance, it's, there's stuff there, but it's not like a super crazy sort of environment, which obviously makes sense, considering they're able to get such a good performance out of this one. But yeah, it's kind of nuts, it's really wild, a lot of fun, and I think it's, oh my god, again, it dropped out. I just think it's a really, actually quite well-developed title. Overall, very solid. I like the fast-paced rounds, the action, things are always going, people are always moving around. There's so many little dynamics to the combat that you're enjoying here, and I think that just makes this really, really well done. Just in regards to being, challenging and a little over the top and wild. And you're kind of working to unlock some things too, which is kind of, I guess, nice as well if you want that element of working towards things. There seems to be a bit of like a store too, which I guess makes sense, though they haven't really done the full details on that yet because the game just launched, so I don't know how much the microtransaction element's going to impact things. It seems to just be decorative. I mean, the game is filled with settings in regards to, what you can do for customizing your character, from like your cool gloves, your outfits, your hair, how you move in the game, the weird emote type things you can use. The game definitely has a lot of features in that regard. Again, with that drop thing, it's really annoying. But yeah, there are a few different modes. I mean, it's very focused mostly on this KO mode. There, I mentioned the other one with the diamonds. There's like 1v1. There's some like kind of rank type play, I guess you could say too, which is kind of neat. And it seems to offer a good amount of things that you can enjoy as you're fighting for victory. And we're gonna have to get to the next round here, but yeah, it's got kind of cool visuals, a fun little opening thing. It's just very straightforward, and it gets to the point. And I think as a multiplayer game, if you like that quick loot that you can enjoy, where you can just keep playing and playing and playing, I think you'll have a lot of fun with this one, because it doesn't take forever to get into the next match. And we're jumping into another match to show off more gameplay and talk about it further, obviously. I should also mention there is a mode where Every ball is like a crazy, wacky, fun ball, and that's kind of neat. But yeah, mostly just the 3v3 knockouts, unless you want to jump into some like competitive play later on, you know, something a little bit more tactical, or mix up the modes, but this seems to be sort of the heart of the experience. There is like a block party type thing, which is like a progressional setup. I imagine at some point there'll be some sort of like battle pass type integrations, but I haven't seen those exactly present at the moment. But yeah, I'm actually, you know, having a lot of fun playing this. It's a very different sort of game, if that makes sense. You know, we see a lot of multiplayer games, yeah, kind of all kinds of different ones, and it's nice to have variety like this, because it really is just a little bit wild and wacky and quirky, but it takes something that's fun, the concept of doing, you know, dodgeball, and it just throws it into a fun, competitive, you know, kind of multiplayer game that's just nice, good, casual enjoyment. It really is just sort of wacky. It's not something I think is too serious. I mean, you probably take it pretty seriously, and you can do some crazy things if you're moving around and like really trying to like be competitive against others. You know, you got cool little kind of sort of spin moves, one might say, and you can really work as a team, which is cool. I don't know if that makes sense, but we'll kind of show that off in a sec here. But like I said, you know, you can pick up your teammates and kind of, you know, basically throw them at enemies. You can also pass the ball, make passes, body check. Oh, wow, I can't believe I actually didn't even guard that one at all. It also really loads fast, which is nice. You know, you get into levels pretty quickly in that. I would have liked the menus to have some sort of, I guess you could say, customization option in them. You basically have to go back to your hideout to adjust things, which I think is just, you know, really, really quite weird. I don't get the, you know, the point in that. Quite honestly, but, you know, it's neat. I also really think this would have worked well by having some sort of more like parkour and or climbing / clambering system to it. And, you know, maybe some like light wall running in that. I think really would have done, you know, sort of wonders for the movement. I do like the movement in this one. I just think it could have been even more sleek for, you know, environmental traversal. But yeah, it's really, really quite cool. I've been thoroughly enjoying what I've been playing of it thus far in that. I mean, it's kind of a little bit shallow to some degree, but that's just kind of how these multiplayer games are. You know, they usually start out like this. They see interests, and then they adjust, and they do seasonal things, and it changes over time. But I think they give you some fun mechanics to use, and some kind of crazy things. Really? That drop thing? Oh my god. So you, like, hold your teammate, set up like a fireball type thing. It's ridiculous. We lost the round. Oh no, what are we going to do? But yeah, it's got some really vibrant, cool visuals to it. I've noted a number of people comparing it to almost being, you know, Splatoon-esque in regards to its sort of wacky style. And then the characters all seem to have like a real greaser type look to them, but with a modern aesthetic, and you know, you can really, really customize your character. That's a big thing here, and it seems like it's very free in terms of any like gender constraints. You can do whatever sort of combo you want. You're really not constrained to any degree. Oh my god, I can't believe I fell down there. And it's like strangely like brutal in terms of still being something that, you know, I think it's fairly much all ages appropriate. You're just throwing dodgeballs at each other and eliminating one another. It's a totally fine thing. Ow, that was a really intense hit with the sniper ball, and then I get hit by the giant not bowling ball, but the giant swinging, oh geez, vehicle. Yeah, come on. Wrecking ball, that's what I'm thinking of. I was having so much trouble with that. Ow. And I think the variety of levels is good, though. They definitely hit the mark there. And it's definitely just like generally a solid sort of multiplayer title. I'm actually kind of excited to see where they sort of take this in the future as they continue to build on it, because I think there's probably more that they're, you know, doing down the road. Can actually get you through the building. I don't know if that can kind of go through that, but this is just like some of the basically set maps. Like I said, the cool diner-esque malt shop one is really, really neat. Oh, come on. And then they've got some ones with like streets, and you get some futuristic cars, and they're all different levels too. And they play around with like the verticality and stuff in neat ways, and the jump sets, and yeah, they mostly just allow you to move pretty fast. I say they're all about medium-sized levels. There's nothing like really too wild in terms of like different scales. You know, they keep you kind of jumping in and pushing against one another pretty quickly. That's weird that there's a dodgeball angel out there. As I get distracted. How did that? And there's like, you can do curveball throws too. You knock the ball off the ledge. That was funny. I don't know. I think they put together something that is interesting, intriguing, a little bit different, wacky, over the top, very unique in the multiplayer space, and that's either going to be something that attracts a lot of people, or, I don't know, we'll have to see what happens here. I think the whole launching on so many things like Game Pass and stuff was going to be really beneficial to this one, and on EA playing that, because I just remember a very similar title like Rocket Arena having a bit of a rough start because of, you know, getting players into it right away, even though that one was actually really fun and really cool. Anyways, we need a bit of a wrap-up. I guess the game disconnected or something like that. I think the servers are having issues. But yeah, this is your hideout. It's just kind of a place where you chill and you can practice and do tutorials and stuff, but it's a neat system. I think there's a lot of potential here. You know, there's lots of different things you can do, customizing your character in so many different ways, unlocking styles. It really does offer, you know, a lot of neat kind of customization options, and I think there's a lot of potential with this one. I hope it turns out well, because I like what I'm seeing here. You know, joining a crew and stuff if you want to, and then the brawl shop, like I was mentioned, daily stuff, and then a bank. But you can earn all the stuff in game. It seems pretty well, and then the block party with, like, you know, contract challenges and stuff. Okay, and yeah, that's basically what Knockout City is. Fun, crazy, over-the-top dodgeball action. There is some private matches for those that kind of care about that element, and I think those could be fun for the people that are interested in that kind of thing. Other than that, you compete online and multiplayer, and you battle it out for the best dodgeball supremacy you can provide out there. It's always competitive and always a wild time.
Team. Blue team is catching up.